Hi, Roxana Dunn here. The instructional technology concept that I'll be discussing is using authoring tools for e-learning. I will use the decision-making matrix presented by Manning and Johnson in 2011 to discuss the general features of authoring tools. I will also identify any major differences between the three tools I have selected. For the purpose of today's presentation, I'm focusing on the concept of authoring tools, not on the minor differences between the three softwares. So the three softwares that I'll be looking at are Adobe Captivate 6, Articulate Storyline, and Lectora Inspire. The three of these tools are advertised as e-learning authoring software for rapidly creating and maintaining interactive e-learning content. So basically, it allows for a risk-free, ethical, and engaging format to deliver content in a variety of ways. It can also assess student understanding and practice skills with this software. The design of the content, or the authoring of the content, can be in a linear, user-selected navigation, or in a branched fashion. To explain branched in a little more detail, that's so that the learner is moving along a certain track based on their responses to questions. Here's a bit of a scenario that was on the Articulate website. You can either follow the information presented in a linear process, or think through a scenario and make decisions, and the information is made through the decision-making process, or information made available through the decision-making process. So here we have the three URLs for the various software. There's quite a lot of information on each of these sites, so in a simple Google search would find this for you. The costs of the various softwares, so you can see actually the first one there is listed at $2.99. That's the educational price. I believe the regular full price is $3.49, although it looked like it was an update. So it seems to me that the prices are quite varied, and I suppose that may be the #1 factor in deciding which one someone would go with if they were looking to use an e-learning authoring software. So a bit more of a description about using authoring tools for e-learning. Most authoring tools are based on Microsoft PowerPoint and build on the functionality of the slides to create interactive e-learning and mobile learning content. Authoring tools give instructors of all levels the ability to develop in-depth simulations or cases by using scenarios designed to represent reality. Tools of this type, in theory, embrace a constructivist approach to learning and promote critical and evaluative thinking and decision-making skills. That's from Instructional Strategies Online 2012. So moving on to look at the platforms that each of these softwares uses. The first, Adobe Captivate, can be used on either a Windows or a Mac-based software or based operating system, whereas the other two are listed only as Windows-based. They're only compatible with Windows-based operating systems. All three, however, publish interactive content to the web, to mobile and tablet devices. Also, they're compliant with learning management systems, and they can publish the content to CD or DVD. The best uses for the authoring software is for the delivery of content at a self-directed learner pace. They're also used for presenting new information or review of previously learned information. With the thoughtful design, these softwares can be used for developing case scenarios that can be elaborate enough to result in some deeper learning in the students. So when we look at the level of expertise, all three software programs boast about their ease of use for the basic functionalities. Instructional designers and teachers can also find training resources on the web. For the students, the level or the ease of use is up to the instructional designer or the instructor who's developed the course content for them. But it should be easy. Otherwise, I think there's a bit of a problem in the design. Some cautions. As with any educational technology, it's important to use authoring tools with purposeful instructional design in mind. The premise of instructional design is to make learning more efficient. That's from Somerville and Reed Griffin, 2008. Somerville and Reed Griffin also note the importance of using a systematic approach that blends the principles of instructional planning with technology integration. It's very easy to get carried away with the features of your technology and forget about your ultimate learning objectives and ensuring that you've reached them. So in overcoming cautions, here we are. Dunlop, Dobrovoli, and Young from 2008 suggest that by keeping Kolb's model of experiential learning in mind while designing and sequencing e-learning activities, students are more likely to encounter more authentic learning experiences. Kolb's experiential model of learning, when applied in an e-learning environment, guides instructors to provide adequate support and opportunity for reflection, practice, and experimentation. The functionality of the authoring tools for e-learning that I've described all allow for the design of courses and content that promote experiential learning. So in looking at accessibility concerns, all three of these products were compliant with federal standards for accessibility. When it comes to special equipment, other than a computing device, whether it be a notebook, a desktop, a handheld device, it appears that as long as the instructors, or the instructional designers, as long as they publish their content in a way that's suitable for what the equipment you have, then it should be fine. You may want a headset or speakers depending on whether or not there's any audio in the content. In terms of designing the content for the instructors or the instructional designers, you just need a computer, typical. And then for training and resources, there are a number of resources, some of which cost quite a bit of money, but the information can be found on the sites here. So I hope that was an appropriate amount of information for my presentation on authoring tools for e-learning. So let's talk about any questions that you might have, and we'll go from there.